here? Why is this not more of a bipartisan issue in the state of Connecticut? Again, only 2 Democrats voted with the Republicans on this. Both parties should stand on this. Where are those who claim to speak for women in the state of Connecticut? Where are those who speak for people, who claim to speak for people like Peyton? You should be here too. We have just a few more speakers and then we'll open it up for questions. There are real victims like Peyton, and there are real advocates standing up for them when others do not. One of those is Kim Jones, our next speaker. Kim Jones is the co-founder of the Independent Council on Women's Sports, ICONS. It is a network and advocacy group supporting women and girls across the country and working to protect the female category for athletes at every level and in every sport. Kim played tennis at Stanford University, where she earned All-American status in both singles and doubles. She was a 3-time NCAA runner-up and represented the United States at the World University Games with a 5th place finish. Kim earned her undergraduate and graduate degrees in mechanical engineering from Stanford University and has been a lifelong advocate for women in sports, serving on the Stanford Athletic Board and working for various sports organizations and athletes over her career. Kim is a Connecticut resident and has 4 children who are all collegiate swimmers. Kim Jones. Louder.
Okay.
Louder.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to be here today. You've all heard the question, what is a woman? This is not a question seeking an answer, because we all know what a woman is. It is a question seeking to witness if you retain a grasp on truth and honesty. Will you deny the most basic and foundational elements of life? Are you so ideologically captured that you can no longer speak truth? Are you so frightened and cowed that you can be counted on to remain silent, no matter the cost, no matter the visible harm to women? Very importantly, this question has a lot riding on it, far more than most people realize. Right now in the United States, in the name of gender ideology, there are desperate women locked in prison cells that are being raped by violent men. There are young girls huddled in the corners of their middle school locker rooms being sexually harassed while boys openly walk in. There are men winning women's state and national championships and even representing the United States in women's international competitions. There are men inserting themselves into leadership positions where women are being terrorized in rape crisis centers and in domestic violence centers. There are men invading women's locker rooms and changing next to teenage girls and grandmothers who, when they complain, have been kicked out of their facilities and off of their teams. It is affecting free speech, science, medicine, education, safety, and law, but most importantly, it is robbing women and girls of their rights, their recognition, and their ability to advocate for themselves apart from men. So aside from the obvious, why is women's sports a lightning rod for this? Isn't women's sports just one element of all of this insanity? No, it is not. Women's sports is the crack that will break down the dam. It is the public arena, the coliseum of the difference of the sexes. We know what a woman is. We know there is no surgical or pharmaceutical intervention that can make a man into a woman or a boy into a girl. So when we are confronted with a public spectacle of this absurdity, we all see it, and we understand that everyone around us sees it too. Sex is real. It is defined by gametes, and that is true in all mammals. The entire body is organized around the production of either sperm or ova. There is no system of the body that is not impacted by this, from utero. There is no reboot, there is no undo. No human can change sex, and the effects of sex are permanent. The result of sex is that men and women are built differently in almost every way. We measure it in labs, in science, in performance, and its impacts are enormous for women across all cultures. Some great examples of this are the fact that a man's punch is 160% stronger than that of a woman. His bicep strength is more than 60% stronger. His vertical jump more than 30% higher. His lifting strength 30 to 60% greater. His tendons and ligaments are different and run through different structures, creating different injury risks. The structure of a male muscle is different. His reflexes are faster, and he has more fast twitch fibers. His bone structure at the hip, knee, and elbow are created for more rapid cycles and greater power leverage. His lung surface is more than 30% greater, and his heart size is bigger. These sex differences mean that men hold physical and sexual power over women in every society. Seeing this on display brings a visibility that knocks everyone back to their senses, and sanity has begun to prevail. The question is just how long some people will hold on to an ideology devoid of reason before the end. And Connecticut, unfortunately, seems dead set on being one of those bastions. The clock is ticking, and the end will come. But the insanity of allowing boys into girls' sports demands silence to persist. So it will only change when we collectively lose our fear of speaking our minds. This is the final test. Can we be pushed this far? To remain silent in the face of public displays of humiliation and gaslighting? Are we willing to quietly watch women mistreated and told to step aside for the sake of a few men and boys to feel affirmed? There has to be a point when we are not afraid to say no. This is not going to happen. This is crazy. It is a line we will not cross. It cannot be left to middle school girls to protest their events like they did in West Virginia. It can't be left to a whole team of female student athletes in Virginia calling a press conference after months of begging their university to listen to them, or for women to back off into the shadows, quietly giving up their opportunities. No, this changes with a collective shift of people deciding that women and girls are finally the price they are not willing to pay. This is a job for all of the adults in the room to regain their courage. Because if men cannot be women in sports, they cannot be women anywhere. We assert reality, we acknowledge the physical world, we will not deny our eyes. The world is hungry to see courage and to hear truth spoken. Speaking truth is liberating. It frees us. It is always worth it. And there is no more obvious case than the difference between male and female. Truth must be more important than political affiliation or fear. We need to relearn that there are lines that cannot be crossed, that remind us we need to be unapologetic and unashamed. To stand on principles and defending our women and girls is the final straw. Because if we can't find it for something this obvious, we won't find it anywhere.